Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome to Love Adventure number 2 readings. The last time I did love readings was about 3 or 4 months ago. It was like back in June of this year. So it's time for an update. Now, these are timeless, of course, but love is such an amazing adventure into knowing who we really are. So we're going to jump in and see what's coming next in our adventure of love. If you want to check out the previous ones, I will throw a link to the playlist for the Love Adventure number 1 at the end. So if you want to go check those out, feel free to do so. But let's go ahead and jump in and see what is in store for you. All right, all my Geminis, this is your 3-month adventure reading in love. So we're going to start off by pulling a card here from the Rumi Oracle. And what this is going to represent, of course, is just the overall for the 3 months, what the Creator wants you to know, like overall energy, overall theme, or just what the Creator wants you to know about the 3 months. All right, Creator, so for our Geminis, what do you want them to know about this 3-month period coming up here? Okay, nope. They said not those, that's just me being clumsy. They said that's the one. All right. And you got the right choice, number 29. Beautiful, beautiful. Look at that. Love energy just bursting out from your heart there. So definitely that during this 3-month period that you are going to be having this right choice unfold. And I kind of feel, this is a general reading, but for a large portion of you, it is this ebb and flow of, is that the right choice? I'm not sure. Is it? Well, maybe it is. Maybe it's not. Well, I'm not sure. And this clarity comes through a variety of situations, which we'll talk about here as we go later on in here. But the message that comes from here, this is from Rumi. He's a spiritual individual, like a sage of sorts from the past. And he says, within you, I recognize my most trusted friend. Ah, we go back a long way to before that moment when time began. We knew each other then, even before time was born. So I say, hello, my old and dear friend, so lovely for us to meet again. And I feel how your heart responds with a wave of love. For it is that love that is you, my most trusted friend. That is interesting. A lot of what I'm getting from this, and these readings, like I mentioned, aren't focused in on just romantic, intimate love. It's friendships, it's family, it's even work relationships, or even your relationships with your animal companions. And I feel like that during this 3-month period, you really resonate well with someone in your life. Like you recognize them as being this soul that you knew before time. You just have this instant, deep connection, almost like this remembrance of a friendship that has been long forgotten. And during this 3-month period, you have that. And with this right choice, it becomes a no-brainer. It's like that I wouldn't say the wishy-washiness, but the ebb and flow as you've been going throughout this 3-month period. You're like, oh, I'm not sure. Well, I don't know. It's going to be so obvious and so clear that you're just like, okay, that's the right choice. I know exactly which one it is. No question, right? And let me see what else it has to say here. It's a little bit of information here that's usually so beautiful and right on target that I'm going to read it. So it's going to be like a little story time with Bretta Zen. And I appreciate your patience, but I can tell you it's definitely worth it. So it says, on the path of love, there is not so much wrong and right in the moral sense, so much as what is wrong or right for you. The mind cannot help so much here. Only the heart can speak such truths. The mind may reject it, recoil, analyze, and find all the reasons why the simple truth, the right choice of the heart, cannot possibly work and only lead to pain. That is what the mind does rather well, actually. Right? But it doesn't mean the right choice, the heart choice, becomes incorrect. It means rather that the heart has outsmarted the mind, and the mind will need to bow to the heart. Even without understanding its sometimes impenetrable mysteries, or one can choose to stay in inner conflict, fighting against the right choice. But eventually love will prevail, and the way forward must be taken. So can you give up what you've planned, believed, or decided? Let your heart wisdom, that silently and constantly broadcasts its pure and true attention into the fertile womb of the universe, let that lead the way instead. It will lead you along the right path to the right house where sits the right master for you. He grabs you in a bear hug and gently whispers into your ear, "What took you so long? I've been waiting for you since the day you were born. Now we're together. It's time for us to play." I love that. It's said that one man's meat is another man's poison. To base your choices on what others have chosen for themselves may end up killing you. Better to take your risks on the angel of your own heart, wise as that being is, and dance to your own heart rhythm instead. There may be fear if others seem to be dancing different steps. But beloved, you know that it is just because every heart has its own unique rhythm, and yours doesn't want to waltz so much as to tango. So why not allow it to be thus without fear or doubt? This oracle comes with a message for you. In your heart, you know what holds meaning for you. You may or may not have a grand vision to go along with that meaning as yet, but deep within, you know what is without value and what holds value for you. You were born with those values intact in your heart, and whatever confusion has arisen for you along the way is just where the values of others have transfused into your own blood. It is time for transfusion of holy light into that blood, to be cleansed and purified, restored to its integrity, and filled with passion for what is rightfully yours, your unique passion and purpose. If you've been concerned about your path and what steps to take next, this oracle comes as an omen of good things headed your way: clarity, reassurance, truth, and revelation. Don't hold on to a belief system or vision if it appears to be tossed on its head. Let things go the way they will, and good fortune will prevail for you. That vision might actually have been upside down all this time and suddenly able to right itself and be born for you if it's allowed to topple. Or perhaps there is a more fulfilling version of your vision lurking in its remnants, to be scooped up by your soul with its hawk vision and eagle deafness. Trust that if you are being drawn away from a tantalizing sweet shop, there's a more delicious array of confection just around the corner for you. Yay! So, yes, have your tantrum if you must, but you will be sheepish soon when you realize the hand of the great beloved that removes is the same hand that bestows even greater gifts. I love it. So definitely beautiful, like we talked about, beautiful awareness, understanding this confusion of, these, I love that blood transfusion picture that it has. It's like, what, toxins have entered your bloodstream from the beliefs of other people of this is who you should be. And that's what's keeping, your blood with those toxins in it, that, and then this blood transfusion that happens where you remove that out there, it brings you that clarity of purpose, and for what you want to do with your life, and how you want to live. So it's beautiful. what we're going to look at next are these crystal medicine oracle, and this is going to be clarity on what kind of tool or what helps you with that blood transfusion, what helps you with that purification of your blood and getting that, all those beliefs that are holding you back from living the life that you have within your heart to live, and what's going to help you move that. So, Creator, for our Geminis, what is going to help them with that blood transfusion? Wow, that one was right there. And so you've got, so Teacher is the card here, and you've got the Wolf, of course, is the medicine, and the crystal that helps is Shattuckite, that S-H-A-T-T. Oh, I'll just let you see it. See, it's that one right there. I'll probably murdered on how to say it, but if you're a crystal expert, then you'll know. And that's card number 30, which this was card number 29. And this is like, yep, this is the very next step, 30. Makes sense. And let me read from here. And don't worry, it's not quite as long as that card there. But beautiful information here. So you have the Teacher. So if you attracted this card into your awareness today, it's time to connect deeply to your inner teacher. There's a saying that states, if you know the question, then you know the answer. So you know the answer. You know how you're going to clear your blood. You're going to clear away these beliefs, right? In truth, everything we need to know lies within us, and at every given moment, we're able to tune in to this inner wisdom for guidance and knowledge. We're all connected to the collective consciousness and all-knowing universal energy, and within this energy, all truth is held. So you are your biggest teacher at this time. You are also being called to teach others from this space, as it is a part of your life's calling to share your knowledge. Do you often look for answers outside yourself, yet you know the answer is within you? Do you feel doubt and a lack of trust when it comes to listening to your own guidance? Do you feel life naturally teaches you through your experiences? Do you feel a passion to share your knowledge? Have you been pondering whether or not to follow the path of a teacher? Well, this is confirmation that you are the teacher, and you have everything within you to follow this path. You're currently learning some big lessons, and soon you will share this knowledge with the world through conversations, through books, social media, or even in a workshop setting. Either way, it's time to honor your inner teacher and share your wisdom with the world. If you've been asking for a teacher to come your way, know this can also be a sign that your teacher has arrived. It is you. And then the medicine is the wolf. And it says, this wolf is a well-respected and well-loved animal that belongs to the Canidae family, C-A-N-I-D-A-E, I guess like canine, which also includes our domesticated dogs. This beautiful creature is known for its traits of loyalty and intelligence, and for its deep understanding of family and respect for community. The wolf follows a wise inner guidance, a powerful intuition that influences its actions. The wolf has much to teach us about living harmoniously within a community and about the strength of true leadership and the teacher. The wolf brings many traits that can support you in achieving your greatness. The wolf is the animal totem for the teacher and has come through to assist you in stepping into this powerful role. So definitely, so this beautiful awareness that comes from this. You don't have to search outside of yourself for all these answers and for all these ways. With this being a 30, that breaks down to a 3, which is creativity as well. It's about connecting to your higher self, connecting to this beautiful heart of yours, and allow the way in which you do things, the way in which you come about cleansing your blood from all these past beliefs. Let that come to you, open up to you, allow yourself to be your teacher, allow yourself to have that confidence in yourself and in your intuition. Connect to the higher side. They have all the answers, like it talked about the consciousness. We're all connected to that beautiful unconditional love on the other side, which has all the Creator's energy in there, because the Creator is there, the Spirit, the Holy Spirit, your guardian angels and spirit guides, and your loved ones who've gone back to the other side, your ancestors. There's just a myriad of beings of unconditional love and light that are part of that over there, and they're outside space and time. They have all knowledge, all awareness, and so you can connect them and ask them for answers and guidance, but also tap into that beautiful creativity and let you express that. It's important. What we're going to do next, I have these love oracle cards, and I've got 2 sets of it. They're the exact same cards, but one has a black back, which represents the shadowy side. So that's going to represent these toxins that have moved into your bloodstream. And of course, this is a general reading, so can't do them all, but just take what resonates with you and leave the rest for everyone else. And then we'll do the high heart, the pink deck, and that represents what it feels like when you have your purified blood, your purity of purpose over here. So what's clogging your bloodstream in your purpose, and when your blood is free-flowing and cleansed, what does that look like for you? What does the Creator want you to know about these? So we'll start off here. Creator, what do you want Geminis to know about the clogs in the blood? So I feel it's that one, okay, and that one, and that one. Okay, not that one. Okay, gotcha. Message is clear. So you got engagement ring, and I'll let you see that, and I see it more up close here for my old man eyes. It says engagement, partnership, commitment, eternity, completion, union. Yeah. And so what this represents is this belief that in order for you to prove that you're lovable, to prove your worth, that, if you love it, put a ring on it, right? It's like, then you need to be with someone. Someone needs to want you in order for you to prove that you're worthy and that you are desirable. Because if you're not with anyone, that means you're not desirable enough for someone to be with you. And so there's this belief in your worth that's attached to dating, to being engaged, to being married, to having someone exclusive to you, someone giving you a ring. I mean, literally, right? And so that is this, like that toxin that's filling your bloodstream, because that is not true. That's like it talked about. This is a lie, that you are, once you connect to this higher level of love we talked about and connect to the other side, you get a taste of what we're going to talk about here in a minute, which is this unconditional love, that you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things, and you're priceless in that sight. Here, it becomes what I call retail price. What are you worth to others? Are you worth time? Are you worth a ring? Are you worth them committing to you? It's all about what you're worth to others is your retail price, but your self-worth is determined by yourself from the inside, and it becomes a capital S self-worth, because you are connecting to your higher self and you're understanding how lovable you really are, how priceless you really are. Yep. And then you got healthy choices. And then here you have all those. So making healthy choices in love and in life, self-love, self-care, being happier. And this card came out in another reading, and I really feel like this, when it shows up on this side, it really is about placing your happiness in the future. It's like you can be happy when all this stuff happens. All these expectations and stuff have to be fulfilled. All these conditions of love have to be fulfilled in order for you to receive love, in order for you to be happy. So you're not happy in the moment, and you're not happy in any of these moments, and you're only allowed to be happy when you reach that. Well, the problem with that is that day never comes, because these are always changing and being extended. The carrot in front of the horse is always being pushed out more and more and more and more. And by the time you get to that carrot, it's dehydrated and moldy, and is, falling apart because it's been out in the sun for too long. So what I love about that is, again, this beautiful transformation that happens is as you let all those conditions and expectations go for your happiness, you realize you can choose to be happy in this moment for no reason at all. You realize that happiness is a choice, not a result. I'll say that again. Happiness is a choice, not a result of things. And so with being happy for no reason at all, people can't take away the reason of your happiness, and you can just be happy. And then you got talking. And the energy that I get with this card is like, I see someone sitting in a coffee shop waiting for someone to show up. And you were planning to hang out for about an hour and a half. And then they text you and they're like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm going to be 30 minutes late. And you're like, okay. And so you're waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting. You're maybe working on your computer, but you're really just trying to stay distracted so you don't think of like, oh, I wonder what's going on. Why are they going to be late? Why won't they show up on time for me? Am I not worth it? Blah, 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 blah. All these things going on and you're trying to distract yourself. All that self-talk, talking in your head. And then they show up and then they're rushed and, they get their coffee, like you're at that coffee shop, right? And so your coffee is like if you had an iced coffee, it's half gone and it's all watered down because the ice is melted, or your other coffee is half drunk. It was hot coffee, now it's cold. And they got their fresh one, and then they sit down and you talk and they're like, I'm so sorry, I have to take off earlier too, like 30 minutes early. So you only end up spending like 30 minutes with them, and then they're like, all right, I'll talk to you later, bye. And they're off they go. And then you spend many more hours after that evaluating and analyzing, all that stuff of, what does that mean about you? And why are they trying to fit me in between the important things? Why am I not important enough to be made a priority in their life? And blah, 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 all this worth stuff coming in there. And so that is this feeling that comes up here, this lack of importance in who you are to others. And then you have the coffin here. And this is, it says endings bring new beginnings, growth, change, liberation, transition. So because it's on this side, there's two things with this. One is, definitely about why do people keep on ending relationships with you? And they never tell you why, right? And so you're always wondering, why did they, ghost me? Why did they, again, treating me this way? Why am I not able to get this commitment? Why is this happening? And so there's all this toxic feelings about other people's actions mean something about me. It's like, that's what we're taught. When people cheat on you, it's about you. If you were good enough, then they wouldn't have cheated on you, right? It's all this stuff. And it also is literally a coffin that, people have, that you felt you had this beautiful connection with, or that you were married to, or that you were in a relationship and their life ended. And then there's that, again, that guilt that you have inside for maybe blaming God. Why did you take them away from me? Why do I deserve this? What have I done, to have to experience this pain in my life? And you have this, again, this very toxic feelings that are eating you up inside. And so that's what all this is, what the Creator wants you to know about what is the old thing, the toxic things that are filling your life. Again, whatever resonates with you, take. Whatever doesn't, leave it to the side. And then I'm going to put your beautiful high heart right here, this heart that's filled with the unconditional love that comes from the other side. And there's a lot of pink in this too, which I love. And then let me shuffle these up, and we'll see. Once you go through your transfusion and you actually clear a lot of these beliefs, you get clarity around them, what does that bring? What does the Creator want you to know is on the other side of that transfusion? Okay. Nope. There it is right there. So on the other side, you got the Grim Reaper. Said the relationship is over, no second chances, grow and transform your life. And I laugh, because here's the coffin, and we're going to mirror it and put it over here. It's like you realize, and you almost, I laugh because it feels like laughter here. It feels like, death had it out for you. And you realize when you do this, you realize that life happens for you, and that life doesn't happen to you with this transformation. And when you ask yourself, why did this happen to me? Instead, you ask, why did this happen for me? The relationship was ended on purpose for a purpose. And especially with the death piece, it's no second chances in this lifetime with that particular one, right? And you grow and you transform your life because of it. And at the root of that, when we realize life happens for us, we realize that before we came down here, as souls, we decided who we were going to be, like our avatar for this game, and we decided when we're going to come into the game and when we're going to leave the game, right? When we have our death scene. And we look at all the events we want to have unfold in our lives for us, for our experiences, for our growth, for our understanding. And, we ask, why would I ever want anything, all these uncomfortable emotions of fear and painful things and suffering to happen? And it's like, well, that's what draws us here. We actually come here to experience life as a human, which is the opposite of who we are, this powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being made of unconditional love. We come here to experience what we're not so we can more fully understand who we are, up here. And it's like, if you didn't experience sadness, you wouldn't understand what happiness is. If we were always happy from birth until we died, we wouldn't even know that we were happy, that there was happiness even existed. But experiencing sadness, then we can point at happiness and go, oh, that is happiness. And I appreciate happiness and I understand it even more deeply, and it's even more delicious than it was before I experienced sadness, which, when we realize in hindsight, I know it's hard to believe now, sadness is delicious to us as well on the other side, because it's such an opposite emotion that's not experienced over there, that when we experience it and bring it back with us to be able to tap in and remember it, we're like, wow, look at who I am. And the same thing with unconditional love. We are these beings of unconditional love. We wouldn't even know it unless we came down here and experienced this world of conditional love. And so we come here on purpose for a purpose. And so just to kind of look at it, maybe possibly from that perspective. And then you have mirror. Mirroring each other, self-image relationships reflect our wounds, introspection. So this is definitely part of what happens as we go through this beautiful, blood transfusion. You realize that every relationship you've had is a mirror reflecting back to you how you feel yourself. All of these relationships we have, there are teachers, always reflecting back to us things, always telling us things until we hear it. Like all my exes, I'm able to look back at all of them now and understand that each one of them was showing me how I felt about myself until I saw it. It only took like 5 long-term relationships, for me to see that, because I wanted to learn the lesson very well, But I realized afterwards, I'm like, yeah, all that stuff that I was feeling, they couldn't love me any more than I loved myself. And they were showing me how much I loved myself. And then through it all, I'm able to look back and, bow to my teachers and say thank you. Because I know it was hard for them to choose to do that as an unconditionally loving being, to come down and play this part of the villain so I could feel the victim, so that I could be slapped awake and saw how I felt about myself. So that's that mirror. All our relationships, even our friendships, not just our intimate relationships, but our friendships, our, family, our coworkers, customers we meet, people we bump into, our animals, whatever it might be, they're all mirrors for us, always reflecting back to us. And so if we have feelings that rise up within us, we can go take a look at what the triggers are, because those are our triggers. They're not happening out here. Our emotions don't happen out here. Our emotions happen in here, and they're our emotions. So those are like flags that something can be looked at inside of us if we want to understand why we're feeling what we're feeling. And then you have seduction, attraction, flirting, dating, hooking up, temptation, third-party interference. Oh no! The things that used to draw us and attract us, like this engagement ring, no longer are seductive to us. There's things that we do. We do get dragged into being the other woman or the other man, in relationships, because we'll take what they have as extra, right? We'll think like, oh, okay, there has to do with these things of they're not available, and I feel safe because of that, because I can get what I want, but I don't have to commit myself, right? So there's some of that reversal mirror stuff going on. But also we have this thought that, oh, I'll be different, they're going to leave them for me, and then they do, but then they end up cheating on you because they're reflecting back to us our self-worth, right? But yeah, there's all this attraction and flirting and dating and all that stuff that seems so important to us drops away because you find the love you need inside, and so you don't have this desperation. Instead, you have this love for yourself, and that transforms. Let me see what this other one in here is too. Oh yeah. Yeah, acts. Breakup, separation, stop the pattern, silent treatment, abandonment. I like that it's the stop the pattern. And there could be relationships that you were involved in before, whether it was like this third party where you realize, I don't, it served its purpose for what it was, but, it no longer floats my boat. It's no longer attractive to me. And so you are cutting away old beliefs, old relationships, old things that no longer serve you. It did its purpose. It showed you what you needed to see about yourself, but you're done, and that's okay. So chop, chop with what you want to let go. And you will never let go of anything that you're not ready to let go of. Let's face it, right? Truth. Anything that you let go of that you didn't want to let go of, you will get back. You will, it's like quitting smoking. If you're not quitting smoking for yourself or trying to lose weight for someone else, then it doesn't last very long at all, because it's not for you. If it's for you, you got all the power in the world to make it happen. If it's because you think what someone else will want, you don't get a lot of energy for that. All right, we're also going to pull some cards here from the Everyday Tarot and just see what else the Creator wants you to know about this 3-month adventure of love. Right, Creator, what else? What else do you want our Geminis to know about this next 3 months? Okay, that one and these two. All right. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, we got the Two of Wands. And this is, for you, the Wands is like fire energy. So it's about actions. It's about your drive, your ambitions, your passions. And here you're looking at the world in a whole new way now. It's like these two different worlds that you're living in. And then you're seeing this unfold. And because of that, the plans that you had before change. So these plans that were made because of all this stuff that you felt needed to happen, or you were reactionary in what had happened, whether it's building walls or beliefs and stuff that you had in place, whatever it was, you couldn't think any different or act any different while you have the beliefs that you do. But with this change, that requires change to happen. And that's what unfolds with us here. Yeah, because here you go, 8 of Cups. Cups are your emotions. And look, you're walking away. It's for the things that no longer serve you. And so all these cups are all these things that you thought were supposed to fulfill you, that you were taught should, supposed to, need to, have to fill you up. But as you experience them, you're like, I'm still thirsty. I'm still hungry. It's not fulfilling me. And so you're walking away for something higher, for something bigger, for something that does fill you up and make you whole and complete. And here you go, Queen of Pentacles. Pentacles is your outside world. She is Mother Nature, Mother Nurture. So this is about self-care, taking care of you and finding your value in your heart at your center. And the Queen of Pentacles, she's almost to the end of the suit. She's learned so much about what is truly valuable and what truly abundance means, what your worth is. And so, it multiplies as she connects here. It's like you bring in abundance, this whole feeling, you finally feel whole and complete. And she has very much like the Empress feel to it too, which is 3, which this is 30, again, coming back to the number 3. It's very connected to that. She also understands what gratitude, focusing on what you do have in your life rather than what you don't, brings more into your life to be grateful, because your energy and your power is so amazing. Whatever we focus in, whatever we think about and focus on throughout our day is what grows and becomes more. So if we focus on everything we don't have, focusing on the bad things, focusing on those moments where we felt powerless, that grows. But when we focus on what we do have in our life and the amazing things we have, focusing on unconditional love and the higher things, that is what grows in our life. So it's very powerful. So gratitude is having an attitude of gratitude is what really grows that in your life. And then we're going to pull a card here from the Guardian Angel cards, just to see what message the Guardian Angel has for you. You actually have this Guardian Angel that's been with you from the beginning of your soul and will be with you until the very last day of our soul, if our soul ever does end. But they're with you. They are your companion. They also represent that there's this large host of beings on the other side of, unconditional love and light. The Creator, we all come from the Creator, the Spirit of the Creator, guardian angels and spirit guides, our loved ones who are with us in this lifetime that have already gone to the other side, and then also our ancestors. There's a large variety, vast array of beings of unconditional love and light are always with you. So just know you're never, ever, ever alone in this life. You just sometimes have to get quiet, and then you're able to connect to those higher realms. Your message here is judgment. And I'll read that here. And it says, let go of your fear of being judged. You are good enough. It's time to release all that you've kept safely locked away in your heart. Your true essence and potential have been restricted by structure and method for long enough. There's no right or wrong way, just be you. Yeah, so definitely letting go of these restrictions, all these expectations, all the toxins that are infiltrating your bloodstream are all these the wrong and right, the judgments, the supposed to be, the should be, the need to, the have tos, all those conditions of love that you've had. So this is all about letting go of that judgment, right or wrong. And there's this beautiful awareness that came to me. Of course, Spirit told me it was about the Garden of Eden. And they were like, yeah, paradise was when there was no judgment. There was no right or wrong, because they were just unconditionally, it's this realm we were in, all this love. And to experience life, we did come down here and we ate of the tree of good and evil. That's the tree of judgment. Before, there was no good and bad. There was no good and evil, right or wrong, and all that. It was like everything was full of unconditional love. But when we decided to experience that, that's when we separated from paradise. And that's what this life that we live, it's this judgment of right and wrong. And then lastly, I'm going to pull a card here, or two or three from the heart affirmations. But this beautiful white quartz heart, I'm going to put over here because this is what brings clarity for this past, for these situations that we've dealt with. Because when we connect to this unconditional love that we are, we're able to look back and see that all these situations that happened to us, which actually happened for us, is what we begin to see. And we see that all these people, all these things that were happening, all these situations did happen for us to understand and to experience who we're not, to more fully understand who we are. But we also understand that all these people, all these other souls and characters we were interacting with were acting out of panic. They were acting out of fear. If they're not acting out of unconditional love, then they were acting out of fear of losing conditional love. They were panicking. They were having actions happen. They couldn't see beyond their fear, a lot like when you swim out to rescue someone who's drowning, and they're panicking, and so they just drag you under with them or smack you, or they're acting irrationally because they're out of their mind, literally. Because when we go into fight or flight mode and panic, the blood leaves our brain, and it goes into, all that adrenaline to either fight or to run or to freeze, so something doesn't know we're there to eat us. And so it doesn't, it's not intentional. It's not of the mind. We're out of our minds. And so when you realize that, you stop taking all those actions personally, realizing that they were just protecting themselves. They had no idea what their actions were doing. They were just in the self-preservation mode. So just be aware of that. And then we'll pull here and see what your final messages are for the creator, for all our Geminis, for this 3-month adventure. What are your final messages, creator, for our Geminis for this 3-month adventure of love? There we go. So first you have, my mind is open to new experiences that will transform my life. So we're going to put that right here because this is what's all in the mind. And when your mind stops being closed and you open your mind to new ways, what are the awareness of the stories that you've placed around your past experiences, and you open your mind to see these experiences in a whole new way. And then you have, I see clearly actions of manipulation. I see the truth. So again, you really are able to look back here and see that these actions of manipulations were out of fear, that were out of protection, or out of survival mode, and were not personal. And then you are freed to see things as they really are, as you move over into here, of course. And then you have, I experience love in all its beautiful glory, which is over here. Yeah, you get to experience love for what it really is, unconditional love for what it is, without all these stories that are attached to things and expectations, the shoulds, the have tos, the need to be's, the supposed to be's. You're able to live life full and see what love really is. Beautiful. I love this for you. So beautiful little transformative blood transfusion that happens, a little blood cleanse, and it's your life cleanse, and it's beautiful, and it's flowing, and it's refreshing, and it's healthy. And just know as you go through it all that every second of every day you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things. And if you do want to look at the first love adventure reading I did, the playlist link is either up here or down here somewhere. So if you want to check that out, please do so. If not, until next time, just know that I love you too, and I'm sure I'll be talking to you very soon. You take care.